everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. So I have a very special guest with me today, the one and only Neil Ramautar, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm so excited to be here.
So am I. So Neil and I have been friends for a while, but he's never done my makeup. Never. So that's all going to change today.
It's going down!
And I'm excited to learn a thing or two from the experts, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
And we are back. And she has no makeup on.
I have no makeup on, but my skin is nice.
But this is not your first time not having makeup on.
Not at all.
She is comfortable. Alright, so prep. So babes, most important is prep. So what I did was I used a little bit of stale cream and then a sunblock, which is basically a sunblock and a primer in one to give you,
Yeah,
versatility.
one product we love.
We love that stuff. So these are the two products, and then closer to the time I'm going to be putting an eye patch underneath your eye, but first we are doing your eye makeup.
Ooh, okay, so what look are we going?
I'm thinking keep it within the realm of what you like,
Which
but
is?
nudes, naturals.
Yes.
So I'm thinking of doing like a brown smoky Jennifer Lopez inspired
Yes!
early 2000s.
Okay, I'm here for it.
You ready? Let's go. So the first thing that I do differently is that I prime with two eye primers. A lighter color on the just below the brow and a darker color at the bottom. That just makes the color of the eyeshadow hold better, and you always want to highlight the upper brow. So
That's true.
that is true. Let's go.
Go! I am so excited.
So I'm a little nervous.
Why? You're a pro.
Yeah, I hope so, but you're really so beautiful. So,
Aww.
and I know you do your makeup so beautifully yourself. So
Well, there was a time where I didn't know what I was doing.
was there?
Yes, definitely. I think when I was in campus.
I thought when you were like 2.
You know what I was doing, but I kind of figured it out. But the one thing I do struggle with a bit is like nose contour.
Okay.
So when we get to that,
Yeah.
I would love for you to, teach us a thing or two about nose contour.
Yeah. So all I'm doing is just sculpting out the shape with a little bit of an angle brush and a very light concealer. The concealer I'm using is a Sameer Kazami concealer, which has a white hue to it, but not too white.
I know some concealers you have to blend them out immediately because they dry out, right?
Exactly, but not this one. An alternative to this concealer would be like an LA Girl. You can give you alternatives. A more affordable one, but yeah, it's amazing that it also will hold eyeshadow. So I've just done the upper half of your eye, and then I'm gonna now move on to a darker color at the bottom. And when you come back, her eyes are gonna be prepped. And we're back, and the eyes are prepped. Let me ask you something, do you do your eyes first?
No. So, well, it depends on the kind of look I'm doing. So if I'm doing more of an eyeshadow look, then I'll start with my eyes first, like a smoky eye or a darker eye.
Yeah.
But if I'm just doing my everyday look, I always go into my base.
Really?
So what do you do with your eyes?
Girl, I do not do that.
Why?
Because everybody's skin's not hydrated.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So for me, I like to start with the eyes first. I know some people like to start with the skin first, but maybe I'll try that the next time. But on you, I'm going to do the eyes
So
first.
we're letting my skincare like really marinate.
Exactly. And you know about skincare, so you know that it needs to absorb, it needs to marinate. And if you don't have a properly hydrated skin, if you just go straight down with base, you got to give it like 15 minutes. If you don't give it 15 minutes, you should apply base, it will just reject it.
There you go. That's a fantastic tip.
Yeah, rejection. Okay, these eyes seem to be right, and we are now going to be moving into eyeshadow. I'm just going to blend down a little bit of loose powder over the eye so that it will hold everything down as well.
Yes, we don't want any creases.
No, we don't like a crease.
I love this palette. I can see all of the neutrals.
Do you?
Different shades of nudes.
Can we say the name?
We'll beep it out.
It's the beep. This is a Jeffree Star palette. It's the nude palette. We'll call it the nude palette. Your followers are kind of different to mine, so my followers are going to know exactly what this palette is. So I'm just going to take a natural shade just to blend out the eyeliner.
So Neil, when did you start getting into makeup? Or like doing makeup?
Hey, very late.
Really?
Yes, like 2016.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 2014, sorry. Yeah, 2014, yeah. It's very late. I'm a late bloomer.
But you've done exceptionally well in such a short amount of time. And you learned a lot.
I appreciate that, yeah. I always, like, I know it's like controversial saying I grew up watching Victoria's Secret, but yeah, I always saw the pretty girls and I was like, I can do that makeup.
And how the makeup styles have changed from 2016 to now?
Friend, I was the king of glitter eye. I can't stand a glitter eye.
You can't stand
No,
it?
I can't, but people know me for a glitter eye and they will come here and I will try and rear them into like a shimmer eye or a matte eye, but I'm known for the glitter eye. You know, they call me the king of glam, so I mean the glitter eye is what I'm known for. Okay, so I'm gonna be blending out and then you guys are gonna get a close up on my technique.
Okay, cool.
We are gonna be using two palettes. This one and then the Samir Kazami palette as well.
Can you just say that a bit slower?
Samir Kazami.
Samir Kazami. Samir Kazami.
Samir Kazami.
Samir Kazami.
I've seen your technique. I watched your last video.
My technique is take the bronzer and put it in the eyelids because we're rushing.
Yeah,
We're trying to go to a meeting.
We're going somewhere.
So I'm gonna learn a thing or two because I've said this before. I'm not like a pro at eyeshadows.
Okay, so my technique is very simple. It's circle, 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 sway, 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 pat, pat, pat.
Okay, let's go for it.
That's all you need to know. I mean, it's not rocket science. We're not trying to save people, but we are saving people's lives here sometimes. We are with a good.
I'm looking at the names of this palette.
Yeah, no, don't do that. You're a good judge, girl.
Can I just say one?
Rebuke.
Okay.
Okay, say one. Say that one.
No.
Okay, say that one.
Vanilla latex. I'm gonna say that one.
And that was probably the most scandalous thing she said in 5 years.
Okay, let's go.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna be doing a light brown first. So all I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna go in a circular motion. Circle, circle, circle. With a fluffy brush. Brushes are important.
Does it matter like a specific brand?
I know, it doesn't matter. Whatever.
The bristles are soft.
Bristles are soft and that it's not a hard brush. A lot of people use hard brushes, which I can't understand why. If the brush needs to be soft, it doesn't matter what brand it is. I have brushes that are from 5 grand to 1,500 grand.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not about the brand, it's just about the quality of the product.
well, it's also your technique. I mean, I've used things that are, 5 grand and I've done it on celebrities. It's not about, I don't even think it's about if a product's expensive. I think it's your technique and how you apply the product.
Okay, so I'm learning now to do a circle, circle, circle. So this is the transition shade.
Yeah, transition shade. Using the right technical term. I call it
I know
that.
a thing or two.
Yeah, but I don't know if you call it that.
What do you call it?
I call it the first color.
The first. Okay.
First color to blend.
Okay.
Yeah.
First color.
Yeah, and then you don't want to raise the color too high to the actual brow bone. I just want to concentrate. Can you feel that? Like where I'm just going like into
Yes. It's in like the hollow
of your eye.
the eye socket.
And just circle, 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 circle.
You have a very soft touch.
I appreciate that. I have this rule when I'm teaching interns that the client is not supposed to feel you on them. Right? That's I1. Totally blend it out, only with one shade. You'll notice that if you blend correctly, it will look like there's 3 shades out there, but I've only used one. Can you see that? It's lighter there and it's darker there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can see the outline.
Yeah. So we've got a base to now work. Then I'm going to go in with a slightly darker color, but with a slightly smaller brush. So this is the smaller brush. It looks like a bullet. Can you see that?
It's tapered.
It's tapered. Yeah. Can you feel the brush? Feel the brush. It's soft, but slight firmness to it. Okay, cool. This brush is going to be used in the socket, just to give the eye more depth. So I'm going to go into, we're going to say darker brown.
Yeah.
And then you want to dust on the back of your hand. And then we're just going to go sway, sway, sway.
So this is color number 2.
Yes, color number 2. Sway, 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 sway.
So rule of thumb for like a beginner.
Yes, baby.
How many eyeshadow colors do you need to go? So you say color number 1, 2, 3.
Listen, as many as you are able to use, but I think that a majority would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will do 6 now.
You're doing 6 now?
Yeah, I'm doing 6 now. But you won't see 6. You'll just see transition and gradient of color over here. listen, this is not a beginner's class for makeup. This is me doing
This is a J-Lo.
This is just a J-Lo inspired look.
Nothing.
No, yeah, it's just trying to get bread, you know. And then just open your eye. This part here, you can open your eye, and then I'm just gonna go sway, 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 sway. It doesn't have to be neat at this point. Neatness comes towards the end. A lot of people feel like, oh my God, I need to be neat from the beginning. You don't. All you want to do is you just want to apply your color down and you want to get it in the right position, because one brush, this technique that I'm going to show you, is just you just blend everything together. Just blend everything together. But now, do you see? It looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4 colors in the eye, but we only use 2, because when colors amalgamate together, that's a big word. Ask me to spell it and I couldn't. Amalgamate together, they give you like the. Oh, so sway, 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 sway. Open.
Okay.
Looks good so far. Alright, but we're going to make it obviously look better. Alright, so the next shade that we're going to be using is from the other palette, which is the Semi-Tazami palette. And this one has a bit of more of like a maroony tone to it, but I'm going to be mixing 1 and 2 together. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to be mixing 1 and 2 together, and then I'm going to be blending underneath that. Full bubble. Again, with the sway sway motion, just in the, just move like that. You like it?
I do.
I know. I'm so tensed up to make sure that you are happy with this look.
No, I do.
You do? Okay, cool. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take those same 2 shadows that I used on mobile lid and then do a photographic scene. Photographic scene is a very bold term.
Photographic scene.
Photographic scene. Yeah. So it's just in the corner here. But I don't want it to be too intense, so I'm going to be very light-handed with it. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 with a light color, so that the blend out is softer. So I'm just going to go soft.
Yeah, the trick is to always have it blended. Seamless and effortless.
But your makeup is always seamless.
Well, now I'm making more seamless. I'm learning. I'm learning from you. I can see the C shape.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
And you don't need to be overly neat. Even if you go in a big circle or a
You're
small
gonna clean
circle.
up the bottom.
Exactly, you can clean up the bottom, but you can see there's a transition of tone there. Right. Last color as far as the corner is concerned is the super dark brown there. One very slight touch. Less is more. Okay.
Love that.
Yeah. And then I'm just gonna go, watch this, you can open your eyes, it's gonna be I know. So the next thing that most people do not concentrate on is your upper eye highlighters. I like it to be matte now.
Oh, nice.
You know,
I know what you mean.
because a lot of people want to do a heavy shimmer. You can if you're going to a night look. I want this to translate easily from day into night, and people should not be walking around with a heavy upper eye highlighter. Yeah. So I'm going to use a matte tone. And I'm going to go into like a in-between pinky undertone with a touch of yellow.
So you don't add any highlighters?
On the top. I could if you like.
No, I'm just
yeah, I'm
curious.
just because you also want to keep it sexy.
I like the matte.
Yes, yeah. So sway, 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 sway. I'm gonna bring everything back together with one big brush, which is the original brush, and I'm just gonna go in a circular motion over everything and just bring everything together. I think the cameraman's fascinated. He's looking so intense. He could be doing your makeup soon. Open. So another trick that most people don't do is I add from this point I now add a little bit of concealer to the inner part of the eye. Just a touch of concealer with my baby finger. But I'm going to be using the number 2, which is the slightly darker color. So you go there, just with a little bit on your finger. I'm just going to touch a little bit. Touch. And then with the cleaner finger, just blend it out. back, I'm gonna now start adding a shimmer tone to it. Okay, so you were talking about your upper eye highlighter. I brought a shimmer. I like to use face highlighters for the eye, yeah, because it has more of a yellowy undertone. You can see it now. See it? Next color that I'm going to be using is a shimmer. Yeah, it's pretty.
We're going all out. We're doing a
yes,
shimmer.
we are doing the most. We are doing the most.
So this is going to go
on the inner part of your eye. Dusting off. It's a shimmer. I'm just going to press down. And I promise you the payoff in the camera is going to be the same. And then this is pressing it down. Take a look.
oh,
Wow.
that's like Baba Boom.
Yes. And then again.
Wow, that's quite pigmented.
Yeah. And the nice thing is that it's not a glitter. It's not a heavy shimmer. It will slightly diffuse into the eye and look like it's eyeshadow. It's basically loose eyeshadow. It's a pigment. And then I'm
Once
just,
the lashes on.
yeah.
It's gonna look so good.
And I'm just going to blend out. And that's basically the first half of your eye done. And when I'm back, both eyes are going to be done. Shut up, Kazan! Kazan! And her eyes are done. Alright, so.
You guys see? I love it.
But there's no lashes and there's no liner yet. So the question is, do you want liner?
Yes.
You do.
I love liner, wing liner.
Right. But we're not going to do your liner.
But I mean, it's your look.
Yeah, I know she keeps saying that, but I like to make happy. Because we have to make client consistency that they come back is very important to me. So,
I think that would be that.
you're my friend, you have to. You have a choice. I'm doing your work. I'm going to be doing your functions and stuff. Anyway, your functions. I'm going to do a liner, but not a hectic liner, because I want to keep it within the spectrum of it's not liner, it's not eyeshadow, it's just you. So I'm going to line these eyes. Snap them back for the car with the coffee.
Okay, good.
Your functions. What I wanted to say was for your wedding.
Your big day.
But I didn't know if people knew about that. I want to make like 60,000 people.
Well, we're going to be doing a whole wedding series, so stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned. So, hold my coffee. Okay, cool. So I know that you love affordable makeup and you love high-end. So I have 3 eyeliners that I adore. The first one is Fenty, which I wouldn't say is expensive, but to some people's budget it might be. This is one of my favorite liners. I never used to like pen liners. Second eyeliner that I love is Huda.
Of course.
We love Huda. But this lady right here, Miss Smudge.
Smudge is...
She's my friend.
She's the girl.
She's that girl that you didn't think.
And I didn't think that the products would be so good.
Good.
And I use so many of them in my everyday makeup look. And it's affordable. You can find it at Clicks. But it's really
Yeah, and it's super affordable. It's jet black. It goes down well. And I love the head of the eyeliner. It's soft.
precise.
Yeah, whereas Huda would be a little bit stiff. And Fenty is super stiff. Smudge is that girl that you just like, hey, I didn't know you could do that. But you did. I like to place the liner down flat. And just use the actual head to just carve out my line. No dragging.
Okay, so ours do it completely different. But this is I start with like a flick at the end.
Oh no, I only
And then I join.
I only do my flick right at the end after I've applied my lashes because there's no point.
Yeah, oh that's true.
Yeah, there's no point.
See, you can save on products.
Yeah, same. And it also doesn't make any sense because you want to make things symmetrical and you can't really get it from the get-go. If you don't have a steady hand, you're going to have problems. So all I do is I just place the brush down, the tip I use right at the inside so that it's going to go from thin to thick. And I'm pushing into the lash. I'm actually not just drawing it. And then I just stop not right at the end of the eyelash, just a little bit before, like 5 hairs before the end. Okay, over. And then the next eye. What has been your worst makeup purchase?
So I quickly just bought the first one that I saw, and it kind of like melted. It didn't set into my skin, so it melted on my face. So I had to kind of in like 5 minutes. Some would say the worst, but I had a bad experience with that. How about you?
Oh, I've had many bad purchases. God, I'm not going to name brands because we're not going to do that in your show. But I've had many foundation problems. A lot of the time people claim that a foundation is going to do something and it really doesn't, and then you're applying it on a client.
Like 24-hour foundation.
Oh, my favorite is it's going to control oil and it stays on, and then you apply it on.
When you dub it, it's just hectic without too many pills.
Exactly. So when we come back, she's going to have lashes. So her eyes are 90% done. We're going to smoke out the bottom, but that we're going to keep till the end. I'm now going to start with the skin, which I'm super excited about this. But I'm just going to be putting on some eye patches underneath the eyes for a few minutes just to prep our under eye area when I start concealing. The one I'm using is Xoxo stuff. This works amazing for just reducing puffiness and just giving a little bit of a diffusion under a little bit of dark circles.
Love it. So we are hydrating our under eyes because we want to avoid what?
We are trying to avoid creasing.
Yes, creasing with concealers, and even I struggle with that sometimes. It gets the best of us.
I don't think anybody can 100% get creasing 100% correct, but we're going to try our best, right? So, yeah, baby, I'm just going to put that there.
Oh, that's so nice and cool.
I know, right?
Do you keep it in the fridge?
No, it just stays cold. Yeah, it's super nice. But yeah, I adore this. I use this on my brides because some of my brides haven't seen an eye cream since their whole lives. And
I think it's so important.
it's so important, guys. Just skincare in general. Alright.
We're being ever so gentle.
Ever so gentle with my biceps.
Because we know how sensitive we
Under eye area is just the thinnest part of your
Yeah.
skin. Alright, cool. And when we come back, these will be out and we'll be starting with prepping of the skin. So the first thing that I like to do is spray the skin down with a little bit of water. Okay, so I'm just gonna go. This you get for 200 rands at discount. So I'm gonna take up the eye patches. Voila. You can keep them on longer if you like, but I don't necessarily need. Your skin is divine. I'm now going to go into a primer. Now, I did put a primer down before, which was the sunblock and primer, and I'm just going to use another primer. The only reason I'm showing you this is because this is a very affordable primer as well. It has a little bit of hyaluronic acid. It's super affordable. I think it's like 40 rand.
Wow.
Yeah, and I have drawers full of primers.
So we're all about the high-low.
High-low, yes. And I'm just gonna.
You don't have to break bank to look good.
No, you don't.
Look good on a budget.
I've had my experience of purchasing high-end and being very disappointed. And a lot of the time, just because it has a expensive name to it doesn't necessarily mean that it's great.
So you're applying the primer to like all of my face?
All of your face. You have combination skin. If you had an oily skin, then I would have diffused with a bit of oil control on your nose and forehead, but I don't see any of that. I'm just patting into the skin. I like to hit the skin just to wake it up slightly. Skin is looking good. Open your eye, baby. Up there. Another thing, people don't prime their under eye area, which is shocking to me. You want to take your primer as close to your as close to your eye as possible without giving you more shyness. Next up, foundation.
So I mentioned earlier that I like a warm foundation.
We are both on the same page with that.
I'm not a fan of the grey undertone.
We don't want to look like corpses. So I like to use, well, for the everyday person, I would suggest always purchasing 2 foundations.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't have a complete toned skin, but you also want to create highlights and lowlights. I use 3 foundations. I like to use 2 cream foundations and 1 liquid foundation. So today what I'm going to be using is Shimmer and Crayola. The reason why I'm doing this combination is because I'm going to show you how you can use low end with high end and get a flawless finish.
Love it.
Love it.
So we're going with 3 foundations.
Yes, you do.
Oh.
Okay, cool. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to establish where I want the light to hit, which would be the nose, the forehead, the cheekbone. I know you like to apply your concealers first, right?
No, I'm going with foundation.
Okay.
And then I go in with concealer, and then I go in with cream contour.
So I like to do the TV. So the V is in the corners. That's a lot of wordplays here.
So what's one makeup product you can't do without?
What I can't do without
I feel like that's a tough one.
it is because what foundation?
Yeah, like a face.
Yeah, foundation.
I think I might go with concealer.
Really?
Because I feel like it can double up as foundation as well.
You know what I can do without? Mascara.
Yeah.
I can do without
You
that.
can have lashes.
Yeah, I can use an eyeshadow as well. So I'm just putting it down on the chin, the nose, the V, the cheekbone, and I'm just gonna let that marinate.
I'm saying that. Let it marinate.
I know, I'm gonna premiere. Okay. With the same brush, I'm now going to just create ebbs and flows. So I'm gonna just go into the cheekbone with a slightly darker color.
So I noticed you don't like what is it? Like swipe.
Swipe. No.
You dab.
I dab.
When in doubt,
Dab. Smell good, smell good. It's just to give you like a sun kiss. Like you can see that I'm warming up certain areas, and then I'm just gonna go into the hairline. Just remember, I've never done your foundation, so I'm figuring it out as I go along here.
you got this.
So I know that you like a snatched nose.
Of course, I like to look chiseled, snatched.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go in with just a little bit of foundation.
Are you contouring my nose now?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
What's your
No,
first?
teach us.
Yeah.
Is there like a general way?
You can't contour with just cream, and you have to be very specific about the type of contour that you want. So for you, I'm giving you snatch.
Okay, so there's no like 3-step method for anyone.
No,
to
because
contour.
listen, I have the most impossible nose to contour, but my contour is my beard. You see?
Oh,
So
okay.
that's my contour. So this is my man contour. But when it comes to noses, you can't use a stock standard like blueprint for noses because everybody knows it's different. Mine it's long and it's impossible to contour. So all I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going down with a little bit of foundation just to give me the shape and see how it's looking, and then afterwards I'll go down with highlighters, liquid highlighters, and then powders last. Snatch. And the reason why I like to use foundation is because it's a bit more blendable. Then using a concealer concealers dry super fast. And you must remember, contour is a shadow. It's a shadow effect. You don't want it to look like, you don't want to see your contour.
You don't want to see a straight line
No,
coming
you
down.
don't want to, no, that's crazy.
It's all about blending.
It's all about blending. Alright, right now she looks crazy. But what I'm going to be doing next is going to be applying the liquid foundation with a sponge. So there's two different types of sponges. Here, the sponge,
Ingredients.
fiber,
Pillowy.
silicone. Two different effects. This will give coverage, but this will give you an airbrush finish. I'm just going to go over everything. Perfect. Even tell you should.
So how would one know what foundation to choose? Like if you're going to a store, how would you know which one to choose? What's a good tip that you can give us?
I think you can never buy foundation trying it on the first time. You have to put it on and you gotta leave.
Oh, and let it see the
And let it see if it oxidizes. Do not feel pressured by consultants to purchase your foundation immediately. That's crazy. Like, I can't understand how anybody can purchase a foundation. Like, hey, yes, this is great. Unless you're going to like a professional makeup artist. If you're not, that's dangerous.
So you advise us going into Xoxo just trying out a tester.
Yes.
And then walking around.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And also, you can get samples. I mean, you know, my favorite one is when people say, no, we don't have samples. Go with your own container and squirt a little bit out and then take it home and then put it on. No, I mean, seriously, do you know how many people...
That's brilliant. I love that.
Yes!
No, I love that.
Take your own container.
No, that's true because by the time I'm done trying on lip liners and foundations, my hands look crazy. So.
Yes, go and get your own container, girl. Take Tupperwares with you. Yeah, it's a very good thing. Okay, cool. So this is a full coverage look.
Oh, now we're on the topic of foundation. I have to ask you.
Yeah.
How can I not get makeup on my clothes? Because it just always seems to happen. Especially
You're gonna die, I
right?
tell you.
Like, how do I get makeup?
You spray your face with hairspray.
Wait. Hairspray?
Yeah, you spray your face with hairspray. I'm not joking. Hairspray.
Okay, I'm gonna use my man's hairspray.
Yeah.
When? After the makeup?
Like a few minutes after your makeup is from a distance. Don't be spraying it like.
I've never. Okay, I'm gonna try that.
Try it.
I'm gonna try some how it goes.
Alright, cool. So the next step that we're going to be doing now is concealing and highlighting the face with concealers. So now we're going to be concealing. Okay, and I've seen how you conceal with one concealer, right? Amateur. I will be concealing with 3 and I'm going to teach you a few things. The first thing is, I'm going to use the back of a brush, I'm going to clean it off, and I'm just going to go in the center of the eye. Look up for me, dog.
So using 3 different shades.
3 different shades, because your under eye area, you want light on the inside, you want coverage, and you also want it to be snatched.
Okay, cool.
The next color that I'm going to be doing is a slightly lighter color,
Not that applicated.
just on the inside. And then last will be a darker color right at the end.
So Neil, you've done a ton of celebrities. You've done a lot of makeup. Who is your favorite?
My favorite.
I'll give you a minute if you want to think about it.
Local or international?
Whatever. You can give everything you want from each.
Internationally, Adriana Byron.
Oh, I love her.
She was so lovely. She had requested me, she was down doing a function. I did it at the Oyster Box. She was lovely. She was the loveliest.
I love her skin tone.
Locally, my favorite to do is Kajal Bhagwani.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, she's lovely. We have many fights over the looks that she likes. But it's so funny because all of the looks that she liked that I didn't like are all in style right now.
So, do you choose the looks for your clients, like your celebrity clients, your brides, or do they come and say, Neil, this is what I want, make it happen?
For my brides, sometimes, 90% of the time they'll tell me to do what I want to do. But with Jay Loshni, yes. With Kajal, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not so much with them.
Well, I guess they trust you.
Yeah.
And you do the makeup for the occasion.
Yeah. So, circular motion, circular motion, circular motion. I promise you that on camera this is going to look amazing. I'm going to do the other eye and then I'm going to teach you guys about setting the under eye area. So, I'm going to be giving you all a little secret. There's a difference between setting powders, pressed powders, loose powders, blur powders. People's under eye area always creases because they do not set it. So you want to set the powder, but it's a trick. So the powder that I use might shock the world.
Yardley.
Yes.
I love you.
As I like to call it, oodly. That's what we say when clients see us and they don't know what we're using. And I promise you, this is one of the best under eye setting powders honestly, you know who I learned this from? Warren.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, gotta give him credit for that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press this into the under eye area. Look up, darling.
So is this like step 1?
Step 1.
So this isn't baking.
Yeah.
This is setting.
It's just setting, it's not baking. There's a huge
There's a
difference.
difference.
Yeah.
So just because there's a white thing under your eye doesn't mean it's
No, it doesn't mean.
baking.
And you shouldn't be baking with white if you are a melanin enriched girl. Just pressing. Is my pressure fine?
Yes.
And you'll notice if you're really, really good and if you've chosen the right powder, it will go into a slightly yellowy tinge after you apply it under the eye. My other favorite applicator, you can see it now because I'm going to go into shaping of the nose, is this much. Have you had a problem ever making your nose straight with a contour? Or this is all you have to do?
I just cover my entire nose across. That's what I do. Oh, I see why you like that now.
Yes.
Yes. Love the snatch.
Right.
So do we leave this on?
We're gonna just chill it. Let's just chill.
Okay, so
Just a little bit chill.
we're gonna let it what?
We're gonna let it marinate.
We're gonna let it marinate.
Okay, cool. The next step now is to start contouring. So I used to like to contour with this.
That's the cheekbones.
Yes.
Love it.
But now I do a combination of this blusher brush. Do you? Oh my god, yeah. A combination of these two. So I just want you to turn your head to the side for me. I'm gonna move in with 3 different types of contour tones. Smile. Smile for me, hold that smile. Snatched. And then I'm going to go in with a lighter color, just underneath, and a lighter color on the top.
Okay, to make it more defined.
More defined and more natural. Okay, and that's,
So, okay, so you didn't go in with the darkest.
no. Smile, baby. And the camera should be able to snatch you. Is it looking snatched? It is. Then I'm going to use my blusher brush, and I'm just going to go touch. And I'm just going to bring it up into the hair.
So I know this is quite important. Where should one start contouring?
All depends on your face. On your face, I like to start from just where the top half of your ear is, all the way down, stopping just before your smile lines.
Okay.
I'm now going to go in with a tapered brush, which is like a teardrop, and I'm going to warm your forehead. This is the Kardashian way. I'm just going to warm it up. On camera, it should be translating into a super matte tone, just on the top of the face, which is the forehead.
So how can we avoid flashback? Because I know that's something that a lot of people struggle with.
The best way to avoid flashback is to purchase the correct foundation.
So flashback is pretty much when you take a picture and your entire face looks whiter than the rest of it.
That's because your foundation is kind of not nice.
So it all goes back to
Foundation.
matching your foundation.
Correctly. So now I'm going to remove the under eye powder setting with a color. So the problem which most people do is that they just want to brush it away.
With just a
With
loose
a
brush.
Yeah, with a loose brush. But what you should do is add a little bit of color to it.
Okay.
And then just blend away. Beautiful. Pressing in.
I'm one of those people that just goes in with a brush.
Really? No, that's crazy.
So is this a nighttime or daytime look?
Girl, you are going somewhere with this look. Whether it's the day or the night, you're going somewhere.
So you do use different techniques for a daytime event?
Of course, yeah. I mean, it all depends. Like, if I'm going to give you a look, it needs to be, you turn to the side, love. It needs to be able to translate from day to night, but if you really want a night look, it's completely different. Your base should be slightly lighter if you are doing a night look. Cool. Next up is we're going to snatch that nose. So I like to contour with an eyeshadow brush. Again, light color. I'm just going to drag it from the inner part of the brow.
So you cream contoured and now you're doing powder contour?
Yes.
So you're starting from my eyebrow?
Yeah, from there all the way down. Because I've already got the guide.
Okay.
So the guide is there giving me all of the control that I need. I don't need to think about where I'm going to put it because that's going to go away as well.
And we don't want to line, we just want
No,
to...
we want to shadow. Just remember, the powder that we put down on the nose is not going to stay that way because the highlight is going to go on the nose, but you don't want it to be super shiny. That's why I put a loose powder down.
Makeup hacks.
And a very big mistake that most people do is that they don't snatch it there. That little bump.
Yes. And what about the tip?
And the tip.
Okay. So the tip, the middle, the sides.
Not so much the middle, just there.
Just there, okay.
Just there, yeah. So another trick is that you have to prep and spray your skin in between application. So, because you gotta keep it hydrated. Okay, also another thing, do not spray the skin too much because you could actually move all of the work that you've done, okay? And not too close. But do that here. Yeah.
Yes, no, I do.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Alright, so next up is highlighter. So again, I like to use multiple things. I'm going to be using 3 highlighters, Samir Kazami and a Red Lemon.
Okay.
I'm just going to...
So you're highlighting the cheekbones. This is where the sun hits your face.
I just know that that's catching the light.
Once again, your dad.
Do people drag color?
Like,
Do you?
swipe it out, not me.
I'm not sure. I've seen aggressive applications.
Yeah, we don't want to streak.
No,
Once
I don't
again,
like
it all has to mix this.
And then I like to use a lighter color. This is a red one. Skin. Pressing down. And then I'm going to use my finger
The nose.
for your nose. Do you do the same? Because your skin is so hydrated, everything is just absorbing so beautifully on the skin.
It all starts with a good base. So that's one thing I don't ever do.
Don't you?
My lip glow.
Why?
I just feel like it gets lost with my lip liner.
Well, you won't today.
Did you highlight the tip of my nose?
Yes.
Oh.
And then I just like to go put my finger just there.
Do you think you'll be able to do a full makeup routine with just your hands?
Yes.
Have you done it before?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. There's something about the warmth of your skin that helps makeup absorb into your skin, right?
Yeah, absolutely. When we come back, the under eye area is going to be smoked out and the blush is going to be on and we're going to start with lips. So we're back. Blush is done, but I want to teach you guys a little bit about a blurring powder. A blurring powder, basically what it does is it gives you a filter finish.
Love it.
So you'll see, I've applied it on this side. And it just, you see it? Right. And it also helps with fine line underneath the under area.
Oh, nose was strong.
We're almost done.
So what's good?
Lips. So color that I think you would look beautiful in. And you need to be honest with me and tell me if you like it or not.
Okay, sure.
So before I get judged to my lip liner, I know it may look embarrassing, but this is my favorite lip liner. This is a double wear lip liner by Estee Lauder.
My lip liner is like that big, so no shame.
Yeah, we're gonna speed up the process of lining lips. So, as you can see what I'm doing, I also like to outline the lip with eyeshadow. The brush should be slightly wet with a little bit of lipstick so that it does not dark shadow. Close your eyes.
So excited.
Hold. And reveal.
Okay, this is insane. I am obsessed. Killed
We
it.
did a few things differently to the way you did it.
Of
I didn't
course.
extend the liner out. It's not my style. I don't like doing it anymore.
Oh yes, we just did the
Yeah,
line.
we just did it there. It's just an unfinished vibe, which is how I like it. Your contour is pretty
My
simple.
contour is amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah.
I
But
love-
I didn't use a contour powder. I didn't use a blusher. I used highlighters and powders. It's not really a contour.
I'm gonna watch this video back and I'm gonna
Yeah.
practice because this is incredible.
And how's your under eye area?
Love it.
Yeah.
No creases. My nose
Snatched.
snatched to the heavens.
And your lip color?
My lip color is right up my alley. Nude, a darker liner
Yeah. With an eyeshadow.
with an eyeshadow.
Yeah.
I love it. Well done. I love it. So this is the final look, you guys. What do you think? I love it. You killed it.
You're just saying that because you want friends.
No, I really, really love it, and it's been an honor to get
No!
everything done by you. I learned so much from a pro, and I can't wait to do this again.
No, it was a pleasure to you. You were Hey guys, I have an awesome giveaway that I'm doing with my friend Audrina. Subscribe to Audrina's YouTube channel, alright? And stand a chance of winning 2,000 rands worth of makeup
Wow.
and a makeover to the value of 2,600 rands with hair and makeup.
So that's going to be coming up soon. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and subscribe to my channel for more information.